Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Please stand with me as we pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Board of Adjustments is a 9-member board. We're appointed by the City Council and we serve on a voluntary basis without compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is that as I get to each item, your name will be called. If you would please come to the podium, speak clearly into the mic, and then present your item. Anyone in the audience that has any questions or concerns about a particular item will be given an opportunity to come forward and voice their opinions and concerns. Once public testimony and discussion for a particular item has concluded, members of the board will deliberate and we will render our decision. I remind any members with a personal or financial interest in a particular item, you're required to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item will be binding as to any decision the board makes relative to that motion. Remind the members of the board, if you make a motion to deny an item, you must provide a reason, or a reason must be given. This time I'll introduce the members of our board that are here tonight. Ms. K.T. Brown, our Vice Chairman, Mr. Steve Hughes, Mr. Nathan Williams, Mr. Bo Holmes, Mr. Bart Prince, Mr. Pickett Reese, Mr. George Howell Jr. I'm John Stanley, your chairman. Our staff that's here tonight, Mr. Tommy Tyson, Mr. James Center, Adina Kramer is our recording secretary, and assisting her is Stephanie Reed. Remind you that it requires 5 votes to approve a motion, and we have 8 here tonight. So have plenty of voting members. Any questions? Item number 7 has been withdrawn. If you hear regarding item number 7, that's an item presented by David Dieselhorse regarding 1241 Devonshire Drive. It's been withdrawn. Okay, we'll start with, yes ma'am.
This is my first time here. I was coming in reference to item 7. The withdrawn meaning it will not happen.
Well, we don't know that, but it's Mr. Tyson, did he withdraw it or delay it?
He withdrew it, and the reason was that he found out he could build an open fence without the variance. And instead of a solid fence, he's going to build an open fence where there are gaps in the fence. You can do that, whether it be a wire fence or a picket fence, as long as there are gaps and it's not solid, you can do that.
Okay. Well, my concern is I came for that reason because that corner where this fence may be erected, I'm not sure about gap fence and all of that. That's a very dangerous corner, and there's a lot of traffic. There's not a 4-way stop. We had requested a 4-way stop in the past, and they said we couldn't get that. There's a lot of cars that park at 1241 coming from this direction. You can't see already. It's a little difficult and dangerous. So I don't know what this gap fence looked like that they plan to put up. And since I don't have a picture of concern, I'll just wait until they put it up. And if I have any problems, I'll bring it back to you all, and perhaps you all can make a decision then, because it's very dangerous there on that corner.
He's going to give you one of his cards, ma'am, and if he commences work out there and you're concerned about it, would you give him a call and we can have somebody from traffic engineering go out there and observe what's being done.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
Any other questions about item number 7? Okay, we'll start with item number 1. It's presented by Ramiro Lopez, requesting a special exception to keep chickens on the property located at 3837 McLemore Road in an R75 zoning district. Mr. Lopez? Okay. I understand you want to have 5 hens there. You had a rooster, but you've gotten rid of the rooster, correct? Go ahead and tell us what you want to do.
Okay, I know that rooster and all that. Speak into the mic.
We can't, you
I got only 4 hens for right now. I don't got the rooster.
got 4 hens or 5 hens?
Right now I got only 4.
You got 4 hens.
Yes, sir.
So you're asking to keep 4 hens there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but no rooster, right?
No rooster.
Okay, and you've got a coop in the rear, chicken coop in the rear. Is it compliant with city ordinance?
Okay.
You're supposed to have a coop. If you have hens, your coop has to be compliant with city ordinance. Do you know if it's compliant?
It is.
Huh?
It is.
Speak. I can't hear you. You got to speak into that mic.
It is.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we would have given the guidelines when they made application.
James, you got to.
I'm sorry, we gave them the guidelines when they made application, and for us to process the application, the statement would have been that they were in compliance.
Okay. Well, if we give you approval, it's subject to you being in compliance with the guidelines for the chicken coop. Okay? All right? Any questions?
Do you have a picture of the coop?
No, I don't got it.
No pictures? So we're just supposed to take your word that you have a coop?
Okay.
Can you provide any proof that you have a coop
That's compliant.
that's compliant?
He doesn't have one. James, what do we have, what in procedures, or what do we have in place to make sure they are in compliance when they say they have a coop that's compliant?
Their signature on the application. When they make the application, they're informed of the guidelines, and we have no reason not to take them at their word. If it becomes an issue, then we can take it further.
Well,
Yes, that's what I thought.
what you might want to do, if you make the motion to approve, require that they provide pictures to the planning commission.
Done it before.
Planning controls,
Huh?
to us, land use.
Yes, to land use, showing they are compliant. Okay?
The aerial shows a structure on the aerial photograph showing a coop. It's a structure. I don't know whether,
Right.
so there's something
But-
there they're using.
But there's nothing here that shows it's constructed to be compliant. Any other questions? Any other questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? Mr. Holmes, you want to make a motion?
That's how you do it now?
Was this brought by a complaint?
Yes, sir.
Is
But I believe it's because of the rooster.
Is that how they do it now? They ask you to make the motion? Is that how they do it now? They ask you to make the motion?
I'll entertain a motion.
I so move that the request for a special exception to keep 4 hens, given the guideline that they be in compliance with what is expected of them to do in order to have these 4 hens.
And provide pictures to planning commission, Ms. Brown? To provide pictures to the planning to the land use division?
Please provide pictures with that motion to the planning commission.
Okay.
Second.
You got that, Deanna? Ms. Brown made a motion and seconded by Mr. Hughes. That's for 4 chickens, no roosters. You got to be in compliance with city guidelines on the coop, and you've got to need to provide pictures to the land use division okay? Showing how it's constructed. Okay? You got it? All right, I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand regarding the motion. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Okay, 7 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay, you got it. Thank you. Item 2, presented by Pilgrim Engineering, representing Catherine Crawford, requesting a side yard variance for an addition to the dwelling located at 1835 Ridge Avenue in an R60M zoning district.
I'm Pep Pilgrim with Pilgrim Engineering. This house, built in the 50s, has no carport or garage or anything. And we're looking to put a canopy or cantilevered carport on the side, which gets into the setback requirements. I know that you probably have a picture, but the picture of the house, if you see this house, this is a fairly modern-looking house built in the 50s compared to what's around the place. So, you know, the type of carport that she's looking to put in there is appropriate. I know we worry about water running on the neighbor, but in this case, there's about 2 foot off of our property line on the north side is a wall for the driveway for the condo next door, and the water actually falls back towards us and then towards the rear of the property. So we're really not worrying about getting water on somebody else. The wall sticks up above the ground anyway.
Okay.
But it's the actual driveway is down about 2 foot to go into this place. So, you know, I don't feel like we're going to have a real issue with drainage.
Okay.
Have you have a picture of what it's going to look like by chance?
I gave one to him. I didn't bring one with me. No, it's a cantilever up against the brick. If this is the house and here, it's a cantilever here, little arch, you know, to hold up the steel, and the steel comes down out, and there are no columns on the end. Is the purpose. And you know, you could put posts there in theory, but you know that it would. I don't think it would look kind of right with the house. And then it makes it a little harder to get in and out of your car.
What's the width of it?
Huh?
What's the width of
I
it?
think it's 10 or 10'8".
Mr. Chairman, I saw the actual thing. I did not see a problem with it.
Okay. Okay, any questions, board members?
Is it already built?
No,
I saw the facility.
it's not built. She's redoing the whole house.
Okay.
And I think we've got to go to Architectural Review Board also. But we have to come to you for this.
Okay. Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we grant the request for a 9-foot side yard variance with the understanding that the water is not too, something is in place to keep the water from going on the neighbor.
Yeah, I don't, that's not going to be an issue.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Mr. Williams, second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Item number 3 is presented by Barbara Harris, requesting a front yard variance and a height variance for a new fence to be located at 1812 Gibson Court in an R65D zoning district. Ms. Harris?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Tell us what you want to do.
I'm buying this property on 1812 Gibson Court, and I was asking the city, could I put up a 7 to 8 foot fence in the backyard for privacy? And I was told I had to come talk to you guys first. It's for the backyard, for privacy.
That's coming all the way to your front property line.
Excuse me?
It's coming all the way to your front property line, but it looks like it's not obstructing the corner. It's not obstructing the intersection there.
Right. It's not.
Why do you need 8 feet?
Well, I wanted my privacy for my family, and when I be in the yard, backyard, relaxing, I'd rather have it, you know, closed in so I can have some privacy from the street, because people walk up and down the streets, and I want to be able to sit in my backyard in peace.
Okay. Any questions, board members?
We understand that according to the land use division, that they have agreed to angle the fence, that we had it done one time before, so that.
Yeah, yeah. Ma'am, Ms. Harris, you're aware that you've got to angle that corner
Yes, sir.
the way it's shown here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Approved. You got it.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you.
That was easy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Thank the Lord. Thank you, Lord.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Enjoy your privacy.
Thank you so much.
Item number 4 is presented by Judge Troy Massey, requesting a special exception for an accessory structure without a main dwelling, a coverage variance, and side and rear yard variances for the accessory structure to be located at 1734 West 4th Street in an R60S single-family zoning district. Hello, Judge.
Good afternoon. Let me just say, I'm no longer a judge. I'm retired about 6 months now.
Congratulations.
So you could just call me Troy.
You enjoying your retirement?
I am. After 43 years, I think I earned it. I'm petitioning the board today for basically an RV garage. I think if I'm up there, right now, we use that lot. It's 100 feet deep and 80 feet wide. We use it for tailgating for Alabama State University football games. I've been there since the stadium was built. And with the permission of Mr. Tyson, 6 years ago, we were allowed to put a power pole out there, and so that we could not have to run generators. And we park about 8 RVs out there from Thursdays through Sundays during football season. I had another location for my RV, which is 45 feet long, but I'm losing that location because the business where it was parked is under contract for sale. As you can see from the pictures, the overhead, there's already a concrete pad out there where I park my vehicle, and the proposed structure would be immediately behind it, and it'd be 18 feet wide because the RV itself is about 10 feet wide. It's 8 feet wide and about 10 feet high. It would have an overhead door because we do have power. All the land around this location is owned by Alabama State University. There are no residences in this block whatsoever. The only other structure is up there facing Forest Avenue, and that's a business. Across the street is Dr. Leon Davis. He has 2 RVs that have been parked out there for the whole 6 years. One of them's got extended arm positions on it. His are not enclosed, and as a result, one of them is full of bullet holes where people have just come by and shot holes in it, and that's why I wanted to enclose mine. I've spoken to the Alabama State University property manager, Dr. Donald Dotson. Alabama State, to the best of my knowledge, has no objections to the garage. And the two houses that were there when I bought this property, Alabama State bought the property and demolished those houses. And across the street, across Walnut Street is more land owned by Alabama State. And they park vehicles out there during football season. And on my lot and on Alabama State lots, the parents who drop off kids at Forest Avenue, they park on my lot and they park on Alabama State lot during PTA meetings. So it's basically a parking area, and I don't expect anybody to be building a house out there anytime soon. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. All right. Very descriptive. Thank you. Any questions, board members?
I do plan to sell this property to Alabama State because they own everything else. I'm too old to tailgate. if they want it, they can have it. Yeah.
All right.
Just
very
one
good.
question, George. One question.
Will there be any?
Any questions?
Will you have any power? Will you run power to it?
Yes, sir. I need to run a household current just to keep the batteries charged. But we already have a power pole out there. We have 6 50 amps, and we have 2 120s.
Any plumbing facilities?
No, oh no, we don't allow any dumping, and they have to take their trash with them. And usually with an RV, you can accommodate sewer and garbage for 2 or 3 days. So we've never had a problem out there whatsoever in the 6 years we've been doing it. And the only thing I'll do is just pull straight out and be sitting on that pad if this is approved, and back in, and I'm done.
What will it be built out of? Is it going to be brick or is it going to be
it'll be built out of this steel from Alabama Steel Supply, and they've already given me a design and a price, and I just have to find somebody to put it together.
Is it going to be bulletproof on one side?
I don't know. I don't know what strength that steel is. It might be an 18 gauge or 20 gauge. I'm not sure.
I mean, I'd hate for it to turn around and look like the doctors across the street.
Yeah, they're not too concerned about it. They just let 2 RVs just deteriorate over a long period of time. I don't know why they don't dispose of them. I think they used to go out and see patients with them, but apparently they've abandoned that project.
I saw the location and area. I saw no problem.
Mr. Williams, you got a question?
No, I just want to ask George, is there a bulldog?
Alabama A&M Bulldog, a bulldog that resides in a hornet's nest.
Yeah,
that's
right. I know.
But I support Alabama State. It's about college, it's about education. So I've got a scholarship out there, and I've got one at Alabama A&M. Of course,
Right.
the one at A&M is bigger than the one at Alabama State.
Yeah. Good.
Alabama State's going to call you now and try and get you to up there.
Right. Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, Chair will entertain a motion.
I move that we grant the variance.
I have a motion from Ms. Brown to approve as presented. Mr. Williams seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. You got it, sir.
Thank y'all so much.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 is presented by Safari Moore. Requesting a coverage variance for a new accessory structure to be located at 1735 St. Charles Avenue in an R60S single-family zoning district. Ms. Moore?
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm requesting to add either a 8x10 storage shed, or I would decrease it down to a 7x7 if it's approved by you guys to purchase one from Lowe's. That's not a galvanized storage shed. But I'm willing to build an 8x10 in order to provide a lawnmower, a weed eater, an edge cutter, and things of that nature for my yard, rather than pay someone every 2 weeks to cut my yard and maintain it.
Okay, well, what we're considering here is the approval to place an 80 square foot accessory structure.
That's correct.
Okay? And you already have 400 square feet there, correct?
Correct.
So that totals 480, and whereas 360 is allowed. So if we approve this, you would be getting a 120 square foot coverage variance. Okay? that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you gone to the Architectural Review Board yet?
Yes,
You have?
yes. I haven't went yet?
No, ma'am.
So which one did I go to on?
You started the application process, but you'll still have to go to another public hearing.
Okay.
I'll chat with her in a minute. She'll have to go, Mr. Chairman, at a later date.
At a later date.
Okay,
Got it.
thank you.
Okay. Any questions, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Mr. Howell, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Reese. Any questions, board members? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, ma'am.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, sir.
You got your storage.
Y'all have a blessed night.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Item number 6 is presented by Chris Eccles, requesting a separation between structures variance for an addition to the dwelling located at 3184 Lexington Road in an R75S zoning district. Mr. Eccles?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Building an addition to my home for in-law suite, and it's going to come within 7 feet of the existing garage.
Okay, so you need a 3-foot variance between separation. Okay, any questions? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? If not, Ms. Brown, would you like to make a motion?
Move that we grant the variance for a 3-foot separation between structures.
7-foot separation, but a 3-foot variance.
The request is a 3-foot separation between structures.
That's a 3-foot variance. It's this 7 feet between them, but it's a 3-foot variance. Okay. Have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Hughes. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. All right. I have a motion to approve the minutes.
So be it.
So moved. So moved.
Have a motion to approve and a second.
Second.
Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Let's go.